The next unit we'll be studying is keeping food safe to eat or kitchen sanitation. It must have been something I ate. You've maybe heard someone say this when they've gotten sick. If food isn't stored and handled properly, it can cause illness. By following some simple but super important guidelines, you and your family and friends can enjoy food that's safe to eat. Foodborne illness happens when food isn't safe to eat. Can seem like the flu or be much worse. Usually a stomach ache, needing to go to the bathroom many times, or just overall feeling like you have the flu. Most foodborne illness is caused by harmful bacteria. Remember, we can have good bacteria and bad bacteria for our gut. Not all bacteria are harmful, however. Some are used to make yogurt, cheese, and medicine. Harmful bacteria, such as E. coli, Salmonella, Staphylococcus, are some of the ones that you want to watch out for. Bacteria are everywhere. They're carried on people, animals, objects, raw food, and in the air. This is the proper technique for hand washing. You need to wet your hands first, then soak them up, count to 20, and scrub between fingers, under your nails, everywhere on your hands. Then rinse, dry, and turn the faucet off with the paper towel. Some people have come up with the idea that if you sing the happy birthday song in your mind as you're washing your hands, you are more likely to wash them for the proper amount of time. Tips for not spreading germs. If you have a cut on your hand, cover it with a Band-Aid. Be sure your clothes are clean and always wear a clean apron. If your hair is long, tie it back to keep it out of food. There's nothing grosser than finding a hair in your food. Don't cough or sneeze into food. Turn away and cover your nose and mouth with a clean tissue. Then re-wash your hands. Throw the tissue away, of course. When you taste food, use the tasting spoon only once. Don't taste meat, poultry, fish, or eggs when raw or during cooking. You want to wait until they've reached their safe temperature before you try them. Carefully handle plates, glasses, and silverware when setting the table. Keeping the kitchen clean. Clean kitchen surfaces such as countertops, appliances, and storage areas regularly. Wash the countertop before you begin preparing food and after you're finished. Wipe up spills immediately. Use clean tools, cookware, and dishes. Wash cutting boards after every use and scrub them with soap. You do not want to, a word about cutting boards, you do not want to use a cutting board for raw meat and then not thoroughly clean it before you use it for something else, because you want to make sure that any type of raw meat has been scrubbed off of the cutting board surface before you use it again. Replace cutting boards when they're worn and scratched. Keep the kitchen clean. Use a clean towel to dry dishes. You don't want to use the same towel to dry your hands as you do to dry the dishes. There may be some bacteria on your hands that you don't want onto the clean dishes. Use a clean dishcloth every day and wash in hot water. Keep dirty dishes, pots, and pans away from the area where you prepare food. Wash the can opener often. Keep pets away from food always. Kitchen appliances and work surfaces. Pets do not belong on your counter. Keep kitchen garbage in a can with a tight cover and empty daily. Don't cross-contaminate. You'll hear about cross-contamination. That is letting harmful bacteria spread from raw foods to other foods. That is cross-contamination. This is what I was talking about before with the cutting board. You don't want the bacteria from raw chicken or meat to spread to other foods. Wash equipment used for raw food before it's used again. Use a paper towel to wipe up scraps, spills, or meat juices from the counter. Then wash the counter with hot, soapy water. Never put cooked food back on the same plate that held the raw food. When my husband's going to barbecue something, I will put a piece of foil on a plate. I will place the raw food on top of the foil. And then when he puts it onto the barbecue, he takes the foil and gets rid of it. Then when he puts the food back on the plate, there's no cross-contamination. Thawing food safely. Sometimes we have food in the freezer to eat later. Never thaw frozen food by letting it sit at room temperature. Instead, use one of these methods for thawing. Place the food in the refrigerator. It will thaw slowly. So that means you have to plan ahead. You can't thaw it in 10 minutes in the refrigerator. Place the package of food in a watertight plastic bag, and then place the bag in a container of cold water, not hot water. Change the water every 30 minutes. Or you can always defrost the food in the microwave by using the power setting and using only about 50% power to thaw food. Here's your temperature guide for food safety. No more guesswork. Always use a thermometer to verify temperatures. When you're cooking meat, it's a good idea to use a meat thermometer to find out if it's at the right temperature before you try to eat it. Cook food thoroughly. When you cook foods, make sure they reach the high temperatures that destroy bacteria. How do you check that? How do you know if they've reached that temperature or not? Check the internal temperature with a food thermometer. Cook food until it is completely done and never sample before it gets to that safe temperature. Serve food safely. Remember these rules for serving food. Serve hot food while it's hot. Find a way to keep it over 140 degrees. If you look on the slide in the picture, there are usually hot plates that you can put your food on if you are serving to guests over a prolonged period of time. If people are eating over an hour or two, you want to keep that food hot while you wait for them to eat it. Keep cold food cold. Same thing. You want to make sure that your cold food is kept on ice in order to keep the temperature safe to eat. Limit your serving time. Don't let food sit on the counter or sit out for a long period of time. It becomes dangerous to eat. Handle leftovers properly. Store leftovers in the refrigerator or freezer as soon as the meal is over. Don't let them sit on the counter and put them away 2 hours later. Divide large amounts into small containers for quick cooling. Use refrigerated leftovers in 3 to 4 days. You don't want them to sit in your refrigerator and use them 2 weeks later. Bring leftover soups, sauces, and gravies to a rolling boil before eating. That will again eliminate any bacteria. Reheat other leftovers to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Washing dishes properly. I will be sharing a dishwashing segment right after we finish with this video.